calling to order the Monday, October 17th, 2016 regular meeting of the 36th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Gravlin.
Here.
Councilmember Kadeko.
Here.
Councilmember Stedman. Here. Councilmember Turbrack.
Here.
And Mayor O'Dwyer.
Here. The first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Sir, a motion to approve with one change.
Okay.
I propose to move the communications portion up to be between items 9 and 10 so that we can have communications, then move into closed session. Of course, after closed session, we would come back here to simply adjourn the meeting, but any business would be completed at that time.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that?
Support.
It's proposed and seconded. Any additions, changes? Hearing none, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravlin.
Yes.
Kadeko.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. I see Pastor Matt is with us this evening. Would you please stand for the invocation?
Let's bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just come before you on this wonderful day, and we thank you for the gorgeous weather you've been giving us. And so we ask that you would provide for the people of our city at this time. And we think of the schools, and we pray for the teachers as they educate our young people. And I pray that you would give them wisdom in how they go about doing that. And I would ask that the students would be ready to receive all the knowledge they can so that they can grow up and go out into the world and prepare for success. And Father, also I ask, as I know there's an election coming up next month, I would just ask for wisdom for the candidates involved and for all of us as citizens as we are prepared to vote soon. And so I ask that you would give us wisdom, and no matter who's elected, I just ask that you would give that person the wisdom to lead our country well. And Father, on that note, I also thank you for this council. I pray for each of the council members as each decision is made and each issue is discussed. And so I ask that you would give them the ability to choose wisely and to pursue a better Berkeley. And thank you for all the citizens that we have together here, that we can come together as one community and attempt to make our city better together. So I thank you for this opportunity for us to come together, and I ask your blessing upon it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we come to the communications portion of tonight's meeting, when you may present your thoughts on issues not included on tonight's agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or a department of the city, please sign your name on the sheet provided at the clerk's desk. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being considered. When an individual has completed their comments, we ask that you refrain from gestures of approval or disapproval, because this can be intimidating to some residents. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence.
Good evening. Shirley Hansen, Berkley, Michigan. Proudly. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank, I'm a member of the Friends of the Berkeley Public Library, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of the people that participated in our book sale last weekend. Whether it be through donations of books, purchasing books, being a volunteer to help sell it, and everything. I don't know that the community realizes that the money that's raised from this book sale is immediately through the Friends turned back to programs, things that enhance our library, which is a wonderful facility. Any of the books that are unsold then we in turn find another home for them. And I specifically would like to thank Councilman Blanchard, who today was kind enough to drive me with a truckload of books down to the VA hospital. We were able to take 1,100 paperback books. They were so excited. They're very receptive of any donations. We have 3 or 4 other charities that will benefit from any donations from the city. And I think we should all commend our citizens for participating in this great event. Thank you.
My name is Eric Bytel. I'm a resident of Berkley, Michigan. I'm also the treasurer of the Friends of Berkley Parks and Rec Group. Wanted to take a minute to invite the community out to Patrick J's on November 15th from 5 to 9. We'll be holding our annual fall fundraiser, and Patrick J's has been gracious enough to donate a portion of the proceeds from that night to our group, and it'd be great to see as much of the community out there supporting us and supporting the parks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rachel Picentini on Oxford and Berkeley. So I have a little story to tell. I started skating in 1977 at the Berkeley Ice Rink, and it was my home after school 4 to 5 days a week. As a young girl, my figure skating sport kept me engaged in activities and busy during the winter and out of trouble. I practiced hard every day. I came home with bruises all the time. The ice is very hard when you fall from 1 to 2 feet off the ground. But I didn't care. I always got back up, and I attempted that axel, that double sow cow, double toe, or double loop again until I perfected it. Once I mastered my jumps, my spins, in my program, I was ready for competition. When I was in my early 20s, I taught other children how to skate at the Berkeley Ice Rink. I don't skate much anymore, but I will tell you that the Berkeley Rink is very near and dear to my heart, just as it is for many other Berkeley residents. I want other young boys and girls to have a place to skate and make memories just like I had. Although many may say that the rink loses too much money and is not worth the trouble, to those people that think that way, I challenge you to look into the eyes of one of those little boys or girls who can't wait for school to get out so they can head over to the rink and skate or play hockey. To that young child or teen, their skating sport is their life. And skating has helped them build a great character, learn discipline and teamwork. The Berkeley Rink is one of our town's greatest jewels. Yes, it needs a lot of work, and it's not nearly as nice as some of the other rinks in the surrounding communities. But it's our special gem, and I pray and hope that Berkeley does everything in its power to dust it off, repair it, and make it shine again. Although I am realistic, I understand that repairing the rink is a long shot, and that the Freon manufacturing will cease in 2020, so I'm told, which is what the rink operates off of. If we cannot repair our current rink, I can only hope and pray that there is a way forward for a new rink. Slightly new topic. Over the past several weeks, since the Robina project has been going on, I've listened to some positive comments and of people who really like it, and I've listened to some negative comments from both residents and businesses. Up until a week ago, I honestly didn't have an opinion one way or another, about it. Then the rink closed, and that all changed for me. I'm not sure what the city budget is for the Robina project or the ice rink, but I will say, if I had to choose between blocking off a street and putting in a park or fixing one of our assets in the city, I would have to choose the ice rink as being much more important at this time than spending money on something extra in the city, such as a park, when we already have parks, but we no longer have an ice rink. I do want to say that I think the community events that were planned at the Robina Plaza, such as tie-dyeing shirts, painting pumpkins, cider donuts, and some other events, are great ideas and really neat little events for our city to have. And I would like to see them continue, but in a different way, such as in a pop-up park. The objective of the Robina Plaza that you guys have put forward is to provide a fun, welcoming community or gathering place for Berkley and family, to provide a community gathering place for Berkley for the family and friends, for residents and visitors. But why do we need to limit this to one place in Berkley? Share the events all around town. Involve local businesses to sponsor a pop-up park with events for kids and families. Pop-up parks are temporary, but fun and exciting. Pop-up parks are small in scale, low risk, but they generate high reward with a large investment, without a large investment or maintenance cost to the city. Pop-up parks are a trend in urban settings, such as Traverse City, who's doing them this past summer, Grand Rapids, and Royal Oak. Pop-up parks could involve businesses working with residents and everyone working together, or maybe on a committee using imagination for pop-up park ideas and events. Pop-up parks are a great way for Berkley to be made special and unique, while maintaining our small town charm and energizing not just Robina area, but other areas of Berkley. Pop-up parks would accomplish the objective that the city has set forth for the Robina Plaza. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I might take a moment of personal privilege, and because the ice arena is such an immediate issue, may I ask the city manager to give us a briefing, because I see a lot of hockey people down there, and we're delighted to see them, and we support them mightily. But we need to hear from the city manager where we are and your thoughts.
My pleasure, sir. First, a sort of report on the status quo as of right now. The ice compressors have been turned off. Now we're currently, the ice was taken out yesterday and today. We're actually scanning the floor now for cold spots, essentially, that would let us know where and how many freon leaks exist in the floor. And that's all gearing up towards putting the resources towards figuring out how to make these repairs, what kind of timeline we can operate under, and when we can get the building back open. We're also putting together a lot of these options into a workshop for the city council members so that the council can stay informed, the council can make good and proper decisions on how to allocate the resources moving forward. So we're fixing what we have and looking towards the future at the same time. So I hope that's an adequate update for you.
Liaison may want to add a line or two to that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Baumgarten, for the current update. Much like Ms. Piacentini, I grew up, I learned how to skate in that ice arena as well. And it was a real devastating day a few days ago when we had to make the decision ultimately to stop in the middle of the year with teams, with good teams. Not in, certainly our high school team, but other teams as well. I mean, there are a lot of folks who use that ice arena, rec league teams that use the ice arena, and having to do it before the season even kicks off was certainly not an easy decision for anybody to make. The thing that was most disappointing to me, most upsetting to me, aside from the fact that we don't have ice, is that the reason we don't have ice is something that was beyond our control. We put money in the arena every year to maintain the things that we can maintain above the ground. And we've known that there were some small leaks because every couple of years we've added Freon. And that was something that we've been able to do. And although sometimes at the start of the season, as Coach I'm sure can attest to, and the other hockey players and figure skaters here, sometimes it took a little time. Sometimes it took us a few extra days. But we always got the ice up and running, and once we got it up and running, we typically didn't have any problems. There were some folks that were very upset that, we didn't tell them what was going on with the ice arena before we had to shut it down. And to be honest with you, the reason for that was because we didn't think we'd have to shut it down. We assumed that this was one of those similar issues. We brought in double the Freon that we typically bring in. Typically, we've had to get Freon once every 2 years. This year, we brought in 2 loads at the beginning of the year and hoped that that would be enough, to get us going, and then in the off season, be able to look at, fixing or finding out what the ultimate problem was. Unfortunately, that choice was taken out of our hands. We couldn't make ice. It's obviously not safe. It's you can't skate on it. It's slush. And before we could communicate with the residents, 1, we had to make the decision, and 2, we had to call all of the teams that currently had contracts with us. Because the last thing we wanted was from press release to go out and these teams not be informed before everybody else knew. They had to know. They have to have the ability to try and find ice other places. It's not an easy thing to do. It's incredibly difficult to do. And that's the reason why the timing happened. We really thought we'd be able to get through this. Parks and Rec, they changed everything that we could change above ground, valves, you name it, had experts come in, everybody was there. The only problem left was under the ice, and that's unfortunately what it seems like it is. So there's a pretty sizable Freon leak under the ice. And that is something that we're trying to locate, see if we can locate, and if we can locate, see how many there are. Maybe there's one big place, and then try to figure out what it will take to fix it. We have estimates. Those estimates are costly, but those are just estimates. I'm going to hold off until we actually know a little bit more. This isn't something, unfortunately, that we're going to have fixed in the next week. I want to be realistic about that. I don't know how long it'll take. I don't know how long it'll take to isolate it. I don't know how long it'll take to fix it. If something can get fixed and maybe it turns out to be something that's more accessible, fantastic. But for the teams that we had to say we're not going to have ice this year, I don't know that we will have ice again this year. That's what I don't want anyone to plan on that. I am especially disappointed for the high school team, especially the high school seniors, guys who've played here for 4 years now. Some people have mentioned, when our team goes and we play other places, there's a few kids there. There's a few. They have a few hockey fans. But when we played at our arena, it seemed like everybody in the school was there. And that was about as true a home ice advantage as you're going to see. And I'm sure that the guys on the team would probably agree. They're a very rowdy bunch in support of their team. Okay, and that's I mean that in a positive way. And it's incredibly disheartening that their senior year is not going to be played in our arena. And believe me, if there was something any of us could do, Matt could do, the city, the Parks and Rec Department, please believe me, we would have done it by now. We would have not gotten to this point. And now we are left with figuring out a way forward. As Mr. Baumgarten mentioned, we're going to get briefed on a lot of options, and then the council's going to have a lot of things, but it's going to also be a conversation that involves the community, involves the residents, to look over the options once we figure out what they are and figure out what the best way forward is for the city of Berkley. And I hope that we continue to have the community input and the residents being as involved as we've seen in the last few months, which is fantastic. I mean, we have very few meetings where we don't have a lot of action. But having people involved makes our job a lot easier. If we don't know what the residents want, how the residents feel, it makes it incredibly difficult to act in the best interest of the residents. At that point, it then just becomes 7 people trying to decide what they think is best. So it is important that we hear from you, and the same will be said of the situation moving forward with the ice arena. Again, as we have updates, we will certainly make sure that everybody's aware of what's going on. Unfortunately, I don't have any better news to give you right now, other than we're going to figure out what our options are. Sorry for everybody who was hoping to use. I taught my girls how to skate at that ice arena last year. I was very excited to take them again. Believe me, it impacts a lot more people than just the players who skated, who are skating right now. It is truly something the community's been proud of for a long time, and we will do our best to make sure that we move forward in the best interest of the community together. Thank you.
Thank you. It is a jewel in the city, not a doubt. And when I look down and see John Nicolai down there, I think of all the efforts he put into the Mayor's Cup over the years, and and the high school coaches over the years and players. This is something we have to do our darndest to retain in our city. And so that sums up essentially where we are now. Going forward, then we will keep you updated as the examination and the diagnosis and solution, if it's possible, occurs. Now, anybody else? John, I think you wanted, yeah.
John Nicolai, Berkley, Michigan. Thank you very much for saying all that about the arena from everybody. I know, talking to the Parks and Rec Board, and I am on the advisory board, and I think I know all of you here. But I guess the one thing I just want you to know, and you see the effort here, that people really do care about the ice arena. People have a lot of memories there. The ironic thing is that we really have a nice partner there for the last couple of years too, that's helping us fill up the arena to make sure that it's paying its bills and everything like that. I know that all the investments of the last couple of years, even the new lights coming in this year. I guess the one thing I also wanted to add was, if it was something that could be fixed this year, I think you would find people come back. So it wouldn't like you lose them for the whole season. I just think there would be teams that would come back to take advantage of it if it was something that could be fixed and open this year. And we would be just grateful for all the communication to find out what is wrong and the effort to make it fixed. Everything I heard about the high school seniors and the high school team, that's all true. I can't personally skate myself. That's the funny thing. But it has been very fun to watch all these kids learn how to play over the years, and for all the different things, they're just getting out there to do whatever. So I've just realized that it's important for us. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
I live on Cambridge here in Berkeley. I guess I'll be the last one to put this one to rest for the evening. I just wanted to make sure that I express my gratitude and appreciation for all the hard work that not only the Parks and Rec folks, but the City Council, and taking into consideration all the issues that have gone on in the rink. And I appreciate all the concerns and the efforts that have been put in, and the hard work that's been put in, especially in the last 10, 12 days in trying to make this work. I appreciate the communication from the Parks and Rec, Dan McMahon in particular, dealing with this issue. It's been helpful to get ahead of the problem in terms of scheduling ice, which has been an absolute nightmare for our varsity hockey team. What I would ask moving forward as well is that I've got a group of people that are excited and anxious to get going and looking ahead to the future and what we can do to not only either fix this problem now, or if it comes to a situation where we need to look at starting from scratch. We have a group of anxious people that are willing to put together a committee and go out into the community if necessary and either solicit funds or look for investors or whatever the case may be, that we can salvage this situation or even make it better. Partnering up with the Dad's Club for baseball, whatever it is, whatever it takes, we're willing to be there and help out. But again, thank you very much for all the efforts to this point that have been taken. So thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Doug Deeds. Most of you know me. I'm on the beautification committee. I help out with the parade. I teach in elementary schools within the city of Berkeley. I'm the green thumb of Berkeley. okay? The beautification committee is undertaking a project here in the spring. We're gonna do the medium over on Coolidge. We're looking for church groups, individuals, just community effort to help with this project. It's just a little bit too big for 5 people to undertake. Ripping out all the grass, bringing in compost, planting flowers, and the flowers I'm going to be growing out of the greenhouse at the high school, so to cut down on the expense. I don't know what to tell you. We're planning this in the spring, so anybody that or group can contact the beautification committee, and we'll give them dates when we get them for the spring. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Hi, I'm Wendy Zabramski. I live at 3340 Gardner. About a year ago, I emailed Dan and with some concerns I had right by our house and in the alley right there. And he came out and looked at it, and I guess Alan did too. And nothing's been done. I have talked to Matt chat with Matt, and I emailed him in September, and I emailed him again recently, and nothing has been done. Now, I'm telling you, part of what's going on there is that there's a safety issue. There are 3 signposts in the alley that have been cut off that someone's going to step on and cut themselves badly and sue the city, and I don't want to see that happen. There's also one little where a guy wire is attached to the little hook thing. 4 things right there sticking up. Nothing has been done. There is a business right beside us called Perfect Corners, who had taken it upon himself to go and paint the curb yellow where it is legal parking to block anybody from parking next to his business. And I think you all are aware the parking situation over there. Amici's has very little of its own parking, and everybody else has all their private parking. So of course they park beside on our street. It used to say 2-hour parking, and those signs were taken down a few years ago. And they also park on the other side, which is the fire lane. And I've called the police many times, and I'm sure many tickets have been issued. There is lots of parking across the road on 12 Mile, but that's not where they park. They park along with us. I talked to a gentleman the other day who works at a business right there, Greentopia, who parks on our side, on the road. And I said, we have construction going on. There's a house being built down the way, and there's no place for us to park or our guests to park. And he says, well, I'm saving room for the customers. What about the residents? There are many people I can list that are very angry about the parking. We're going to have another situation like you have at Vincetta Garage. We're not happy. You guys got to do something. Time Travelers has all those parking spots marked. They're theirs. I don't know how Amici's got all that going on in there without any of their own parking, or very few spots. And one of the spots, they park their van 24 hours, 24/7. And it's like, if they didn't park their van there, then that would be a spot for, I saw a gentleman park at one of the private spots, and when he came out with his pizza, there was almost a fist fight between the owner of that property and this gentleman carrying pizzas. Matter of fact, I think he did one of these and flipped the pizzas. This has been a year I have been asking for help on this to get these things taken care of. I would really like to see some action. Thank you.
Please sign your name on
Yes, I
the
will.
sheet so that somebody can get back with you. Thank you. Very good. Thank you all for the important contributions, especially around that ice arena. We will be doing our level best to keep that jewel in our city. Now it's time to move on to the consent agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
Approval of the minutes. Matter of approving the minutes of the regular 36th City Council meeting on Monday, October 3rd, 2016. Warrant. Matter of approving warrant number 1307.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Support.
Moved to approve by Councilmember Terbrack with support by Mayor Pro Tem Baker. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Gravelin,
Yes.
Hideko,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now we move along to the regular agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
Seeing none, then we move on to item number 2.
Motion number M8016, matter of reappointing Robert S. Pancala to serve on the tree board with the term expiring July 2019.
Is there a motion to approve M8016?
Motion to approve?
Motion to
Support.
approve by Councilmember Gravelin with support by Councilmember Blanchard. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Pancala is currently serving on our tree board and has asked for reappointment for a term expiring in July of 2019. His application is included in your packet.
Right. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, we thank Robert again for his efforts and volunteering for the tree board. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M8016?
Hideko,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Gravelin,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 3?
Resolution number R3416, matter of designating Saturday, December 3rd, 2016, for the annual holiday parade and tree lighting ceremony in Berkley.
Is there a motion to approve R3416?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember
Support.
Stedman with support by Councilmember Kadekel. Mr. Baumgarten.
Mr. Mayor, we are joined by Ms. Cinda Kuhn, who is here to tell you a little bit about what her organization is doing. It seems crazy, but we're already talking about the holiday parade.
I was going to dress in Christmas attire, but it's 70.
It's hard to think of that when it's 80, yeah.
Exactly. Again, we invite you all to our holiday, our evening lights parade, which is being held Saturday, December the 3rd, promptly starting at 5:30 p.m., I think it is. But we're constantly looking for volunteers. This is, we're all volunteer-based. The Friends of Parks and Rec has got the day before us, but Patrick Jays has graciously offered up their place for us to do a fundraiser for the holiday parade. Normally we do a lit drop to every house, and we thought it's an election year and everybody else is getting all of that junk mail, and so we bypassed it this year. And so we are having a fundraiser, which will be on Wednesday, November 16th from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. We hope you can all join us, and it all proceeds help to fund this parade.
Any questions? I have an important question. Because a lot of people in the city want to know the answer to this. Will Santa Claus be coming?
Santa Claus will be coming.
I was confident that would be the answer.
We are very sad that Santa Claus cannot do outdoor events. But we have been assured that his health will be very, very good and that he will be with us. And we've been contacting the North Pole so that possibly he can join us on November 16th. And for all the little kids to be able to give their lists early, and so yes.
So it will be possible for little children to have a quick word with him on the 16th.
Absolutely.
Nice, very nice.
Good job.
Appreciate that. Any other questions regarding this?
Maximize your chances.
Maximize my chances is right. Very good. Thank you, Cinda.
Thank you.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on R3416?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 4?
Motion number M8116, matter of accepting the $25,000 donation from DTE Energy for its sponsorship of the 2016 annual Cruise Fest Classic Car Parade held on August 19, 2016.
Is there a motion to approve M8116?
Move to approve.
Moved to approve by Councilmember Kadeco.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Blanchard. The Mayor Pro Tem has...
Your Honor, just wanted to declare I am, as an employee of DTE, just wanted to make that known for transparency. I have, DTE is a big company. I'm not involved in the selection process nor the awards of these items, so I submit to the board, but I do feel comfortable moving forward as part of this, given the separation between myself and the fine folks that are involved with this, but I wanted to leave it to the board as, for their decision.
If I might summarize your dilemma, you're thinking about how to vote on receiving $25,000.
Not so much how, but if. Not so much how, but if.
I think we'll allow you to vote on that.
It's the will of the board. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
Mr. Baumgarten.
Mr. Mayor, as you know, DTE has been a phenomenal sponsor of our annual Cruise Fest. And as such, we wanted to invite a member there, but I'm not sure anybody was able to. Yes, step right up, sir. We do have a member of the DTE organization, the large organization
Yes,
that it
indeed.
is,
Fine-
on
fine
hand
gentleman
to, and we wanted to formally thank them and offer them. Darshell has a certificate of gratitude for them and officially accept their donation and make sure we get to recognize them for everything that they make possible on Cruise Fest.
So if I may kindly read this certificate, it says, you're Daniel Smith, right?
Yes, I am.
Just want to make sure, just checking. Certificate of Appreciation. The City of Berkeley acknowledges the participation and generosity of DTE Energy for its sponsorship of the 2016 Cruise Fest Classic Car Parade. And this is dated for September 19, 2016. But to give you this on behalf of the City of Berkeley to express our appreciation, we were very fortunate to have a very positive meeting with Knox Cameron and the crew there, and they have very graciously agreed to sponsor the event this year. We did tell them that we give them a parting gift, which is a small presentation that's running on WBRK, and it's Cruise Fest highlights, and it gives particular mention of the sponsorship from DTE. So on behalf of the City of Berkeley, if I may do so, Mr. Mayor, we are extremely grateful, and thank you for being here.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
And you must make sure that Knox sees this.
Right in front of me at work. I'll get it.
Perfect. I don't know if you
Very
want to
good.
say
No.
Daniel, I think Councilmember Kadeco would like
Thank
to
you,
say a
Mr.
word.
Mayor, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Ms. Strickland Love, and especially Knox Cameron for the meetings that were held and for the sponsorship. I'm glad you guys had 2 booths this year. It was awesome. And I'm the council liaison to the Cruise Fest Committee, and I just can't thank DTE Energy and all of you enough for the sponsorship and the dedication you have given to us over the years. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I will definitely pass along those sentiments to Knox and our team as well. And I appreciate all your gracious comments, and thank you very much.
How's the baby doing?
He's doing well. I'll tell him you said that.
Thank you.
$25,000 is a lot of money, and it makes an enormous difference to this city and to the Cruise Fest. And on behalf of the residents, we are grateful to DTE for so many things we're engaged in with DTE, but in particular for this generous donation.
Absolutely. It was our pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. You guys have an excellent evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M8116?
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
Kadeco?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 5?
Resolution number R3516, matter of approving a resolution of participation in the Oakland County Law Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement dated October 17, 2016.
Is there a motion to approve R 3516?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Cadeckel. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is a long-standing agreement that the city of Berkeley has entered into. We first joined forces with the rest of the Oakland County Chiefs Police back in 1988. What comes before you today is updated in two ways. It adds both the Oakland University and OCC to this agreement, so they have now full participants in this county mutual aid agreement. There is a 10-year duration on this with the option of renewing and moving forward. Deputy Chief Crum has joined us today to offer any other information on it. It has been reviewed by our city attorney as well, and found to have no objections.
Deputy Chief.
Good evening. I was going to say everything that our fine city manager said, so I'm ready to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for our Deputy Chief?
No.
No questions.
I'm just waiting for Jack.
Okay, very good. So no one is
So is I.
mutual aid is a very important concept, and sometimes residents aren't always aware of the collaboration that exists between public safety departments, police departments, and fire departments in the general area. I see Councilor Blanchard has changed his mind, and now he has a question.
No, I don't. No, not a question, Your Honor. I just have a comment. If you remember a while back, we adopted our emergency operations plan, and that was because of the National Incident Management System, which we had to incorporate and operate under. One thing that this does is this also incorporates the NIMS policies from the county level down to us and to all of the mutual aid agencies. So it's tying everything together to make the National Incident Management System work from the national level through the state level, through the county level, and all the way down to local. So that's one of the reasons we have to do this.
Very good. Councilmember Blanchard says we have to do this. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravelin?
Yes.
Deckel?
Yes.
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 6?
Motion number M 8216, matter of approving the public safety answering point agreement with Oakland County, 1200 North Telegraph, Pontiac, Michigan, 48341.
Is it a motion to approve M 8216?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard.
Support.
Support by Mayor Pro Tem Baker. Mr. Baumgarten.
Mr. Mayor, I will again ask Deputy Chief Crum to step up to the podium. I do want to say, though, the first of two related items. One is going to be the possible entering into a point agreement with Oakland County, and the next would be the equipment that supports that entering that agreement. So, sir?
I'd like to say I liked it better when you did all the talking and I just stood here. That was much better for me. As everyone here knows, we do have a dispatch center. It's really called a public safety answering point, so a big fancy term. We refer to it as a PSAP. Here in Berkeley, we again work in conjunction with Oakland County. The county has supported our system, and it's a copper network system, and it's been in since 1988, same as the previous item. We've been working for a long time to get what's called Next Generation 911. It brings in a lot of new technology to the dispatch and the PSAP centers. Some of the big highlights are locating cell phones that call 911. We have a hard time with the current system figuring out where you're at. We get a cell tower, and that's about all we get. So this will update some of that, let us get a closer location to where you are. It also helps some of in our community that are deaf. Currently, there's a big process to communicate with us. This will help to where they can just text in some of their information and streamline some of the communication we have with our residents. So it's a nice program that we are instituting. We're working with the county. It's a large program. The way this will work, this is just the agreement part of it. This isn't really the money part. This is where we agree that we will work with the county on their portion of this. They're going to do everything outside of our building. We do everything inside of our building. We're going from the copper network to like a cloud-based network, like an ESI net. So they're supporting all of that, all the software. So we're just, I guess at this point, asking to authorize the public safety answering point agreement with Oakland County for the purpose of upgrading our PSAP to Next Generation 911. And I do assume we'll have a few questions.
Sure. Questions for Deputy Chief, Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. What's the timeline to implement all of this?
to get the agreement in and get this up and running?
It's a great question. The faster I can get the mayor's signature on the piece of paper, the sooner I get in line. So we're with everybody else in the county. They're all trying to get in. We have a few communities in front of us. As soon as we have this, we'll put it in. They said as soon as the end of October, if we have our paperwork in. But for sure, by the end of the year, the entire county will be done by the end of the year. We just want to be kind of in the beginning of that if possible. One other reason why is we do have a current agreement with our current vendor. The vendors will change to this program. That maintenance agreement or that with the current vendor will expire at the end of November. So we are moved up to try to get that done so there's no lap between the previous and then what we're moving into. So,
Is there a plan to communicate all the changes to the citizens to make sure they're informed of that after a period of time they'll be able to text and that sort of thing?
absolutely. As we roll these new features out, we do have plans to communicate that through our community, both through our cable network channels, through the city's website, or through their social media, and to get out when and how to do the new things that we have. We're waiting to actually have them, so we don't want to launch them too early and have people start and they don't really work yet. So we have some plans to get the information out, yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much for bringing this to us and for all the research and preparations that you've done to make this happen. Just a clarifying point around the ability to text and those types of things, leveraging broader technology. I think that's an important capability that we have ahead of us here. Certainly in terms of any of those situations, obviously, you know, a lot of folks prefer to text on anything anyway, but I can only imagine, and I hope this never happens, that a resident finds themselves in a situation where silence is a matter of being able to make it through something like that. And so the ability to silently communicate with our force, I think, is a tremendous capability that again, I hope we never find ourselves in the situation that we need that, but when and how we are able to communicate that and let folks use it, I think it's fantastic. To kind of build upon the timing question, I appreciate the desire to get up in towards the front of the line. Maybe they can just go alphabetically. I think that'd be perfect for us. What's the duration of the installation, and would there be any outage time when 911 would be offline? I think I know the answer to that question. I just kind of wanted to give you a chance to share a little bit of the implementation window.
And I'm glad you asked that. It's a great new system. The current system, the way we have, it's kind of hard lined in. So when you call into our system, you have the person sitting at that seat answers the phone. With the new technology and with the cloud or going through kind of a net-based, you can sit anywhere in the county, and when you sign in with your username and password, you'll get that call that went into Berkley Dispatch. So once they have the first, and it's kind of our backup unit in Pontiac where all the software is, once they have that up and running, which it's going to be the first, we can actually sit in that tomorrow, sign in, and all the 911 calls will go to that center. So there'll be no interruption in service. It's some of the cities around us are going to go first, and Ferndale is one of them. So once Ferndale is complete, we could actually answer all the 911 calls from Ferndale as they do this process. But there's going to be absolutely no downtime. They said there won't be one missed call through this process.
Nice, and it sounds like it's very quick changeover as well.
It's very technical and very way over my head. Yeah, it's going to be
as far as the cutover,
very quick when they flip that over. Yeah.
What do they salvage the old equipment? Does that what happens to all the old pieces and parts?
Oakland County was the original owner of a lot of that equipment, and so a lot of that's going to be turned back into Oakland County. The rest will be our IT. Stan has been working with the county through this whole process, and he actually knows the answers more than I do. What's going to happen?
Sure. There's a plan for it. It won't
there
just
is,
go in the
absolutely.
garbage or something. Good.
No, absolutely.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cadet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Deputy. Are most counties doing this now? I mean, are we going to see this in Washtenaw and Macomb? And how will it intertwine, if at all, with us?
You know, we're going to be the first. Oakland County will be, it's kind of out in front of a lot of this. Some of the other counties actually use Oakland County as their base as it is. The city of Warren previously had used Oakland County. It's called Clemmis. It's actually the arm of Oakland County. So a lot of these communities will come through as Oakland County is doing it because they are kind of the base for a lot of the dispatch centers. Washtenaw, I don't know what Washtenaw is doing. So, but Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, they're all working kind of at the same time to get this done. So,
thank you, sir.
Very good. Then we're ready to call the roll on M8216.
Blanchard.
Yes.
Gravlin.
Yes.
Kadeco.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now, Ms. Bowers, would you please read item number 7?
Motion number M8316, matter of approving the purchase of NG 911 equipment and services from Emergency Call Works Incorporated, ECW, 1900 International Park Drive, Birmingham, Alabama, 35243, in the amount of $88,787.48 from account number 101-306-982-000.
Is there a motion to approve M8316?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilmember Blanchard, support by Councilmember Kadeco. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a note on process before turning it back over to the Deputy Chief. The price and vendor comes to you from a bid that was actually conducted by the Oakland County. So that's part of the partnership that we'd be entering into, is that they would actually go for a national bid. They located a vendor, and they got the best pricing possible by collaborating with all the other communities that are looking to jump in on the same system. So just wanted to note that before turning it over to the deputy.
The first one was easier. I just asked for an agreement. Now I ask for money. So it's going to be. We do have this budgeted. It was put in our budget back when we did our budget in May. As I said earlier, we're responsible for everything inside of our building. The Oakland County is responsible for everything outside of our building. The breakdown comes in about 60-40 split, where we have about 40% of this project. As our city manager said, they did put a RFP out, and ultimately they chose Emergency Call Works Incorporated, ECW, out of Birmingham, Alabama. They do have an exhibit tied in that shows the breakdown of the pricing, but it comes down to $88,787.48. And I would like to note, it's a little under budget. We did come in a little bit under budget. So our city attorney had a chance, and I will say we've kept him very busy in the last few weeks because we've had a lot of things he had to review, but he did get a chance to work with Oakland County on this process from a meeting we had with them. And I am recommending the purchase of the NG 911 equipment and services from Emergency Call Works Incorporated in that amount of $88,787.48.
Thank you. Any discussion of this item? Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're changing an awful lot of equipment. I see you got a whole list of stuff here. Is this going to cause us to have higher power consumption levels, since we're going to be in the future looking at replacing our generator?
As that's the next project on my list, the generator, we have been very sensitive to how much we are using over in our building. And I did talk to the vendor. It looks like we'll cut our consumption in half with this new project. One, technology is advanced. Two, since a lot of it's going to the cloud, a lot of that equipment, we don't have 2 servers. We don't have 2 of everything. It's going to be Oakland County who have a lot of the original equipment. So we should cut our output, he says, by nearly half.
Since we're a level 1 type 10 class 6 facility, does this equipment have,
that is, Jack.
Does equipment have battery backup?
Yes. Again, we're required to have that. So it will have, and it fits the NFPA standard of how quickly it must come on, how long it must last. This system, because it's a 911 and they know they're all at emergency call centers, they do have the battery backup, and it does fit the standard.
Thank you.
Any additional questions on this item? Mayor Pro Tem Baker.
Thank you. Not a question, just an additional that this does also include the 5-year warranty and support for the system as well. So not only would it be installed and that, but we have built into the budget and the financing the support for the next 5 years beyond that.
Yes.
Is training also involved? Is there any degree of training that the team will need?
Yes. If I could kind of jump on both. The part of the original quote they received, or the county received, was training of our individuals. So we had to give them how many individuals we had to be trained, and we're setting up scheduling for that. But that's all going to be covered within the price here. The 5-year maintenance agreement is included. We do pay for that up front for the 5 years, so there'll be no ongoing.
Right.
But I did compare what they're charging to what we're currently paying, and we are now going to pay less than half for the warranty or for the service agreement. Now, again, when I talked to the vendor, we have kind of half the equipment inside of our building now, so that kind of made sense why we're paying about half. But that price has come way down.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks again.
Yep.
Any additional questions, discussion? Seeing none, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M8316?
Gravelin,
Yes.
Badeckel,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 8 on tonight's agenda?
Motion number M8416, matter of authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Oakland County to provide animal care services for the city of Berkeley effective October 1st, 2016 through September 30th, 2019.
Is there a motion to approve M8416?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilmember Blanchard with support by Councilmember Gravelin. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This is our partnership with Oakland County. I will say the city of Berkeley, we will still staff a control officer. We'll still be operating when you call animal control. You'll still get a Berkeley officer to show up. But this agreement covers what happens after that point. This is our partnership with Oakland County. This is where we take the animals after we catch them, or if they have to be collected, the remains have to be collected. There's a pricing list in front of you. It is, they've redone their pricing. They've broken out some of the different services they used to provide under a certain header. Now things like, when an animal does not find a home, what happens in that situation and how that price is afforded, as well as this is a major push from the county in order to get all communities on board with this. Formerly, since we provided the services for Royal Oak did not have to be a member. This amendment corrects that. Franklin was under a similar situation. So a couple points to stress is it's still a Berkeley officer handling animal control, and the service still remains unchanged from a resident's point of view. So,
Very good. Any, Councilmember Stedman?
What is a live small give-up animal?
Deputy Crum would love to answer that question, I believe.
If I could phone a friend, I'd be able to tell you. I'm sorry, the question one more time, please.
The live free give-up animals.
Live, free.
Or live small give-up animals, I'm sorry. Live small give-up animals.
I will have that answer for you by the end of the meeting.
Okay.
I will find that out. I don't want to guess, so I will confirm and then I will provide that answer for you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Very good. That's good. Any other discussion on this matter? Very good. We will await the small animal report.
Give up, animal.
All right. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M8416?
Badeckel,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Gravelin,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 9?
Motion number M8516, matter of awarding the 2016-2017 DDA Holiday Lights and Decorations Program to Leclerc Display Company Incorporated of Ann Arbor, Michigan, in an amount not to exceed $22,740.
Is there a motion to approve M8516?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mayor Pro Tem Baker.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Turbrack. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, actually, Derek Schuler's in the audience, so while he's walking up, a couple notes on process. We did go through a bidding process to bring this item before you tonight. We put it out in Mitten, as we often do with many of our bids. We did have the vendor came back that returned our RFP, was actually the same one that we used last year, and we were very satisfied with. The DDA has approved this expenditure. It came to them recommended by the subcommittee that handles these items directly. So you've got that recommendation, you've got the DDA's approval backing this item, and you've got Derek to tell you a little bit more about how it's bigger than last year.
Good evening. Thank you, Matt. So each year we do work very closely with the DDA on this venture. And for several years now, we've had an outside contractor install, maintain, take down holiday lights and decorations on 12 Mile and Coolidge. So the existing streetlight poles is what we're looking at. And every year it feels like we've expanded the scope a little bit per their direction, trying to do more. And that is no different this year. Working with DTE, We coordinated some work to have additional power outlets added to several streetlight poles that did not have power previously. Several dozen poles that just did not have the power plugs on them, which meant we could not put the lights on. So we had DTE install power outlets here several months ago for us, and so we're able to expand the scope this year. So that's one of the big changes, is the number of lights, street lights that will be impacted. So as Matt alluded to, we did put out a bid spec through Mitten. I developed that spec and put it on the street, and we did only have one bidder, and it was Leclerc, who has done this work for us the last couple of years. But they've done an amazing job, have always offered suggestions. We've been very happy with them, and the pricing is very consistent to what we saw in the previous bid, other than the scope is being increased due to those additional power outlets. So we recommend moving forward. Matt mentioned that the DDA board has already approved this venture, and they're very excited about expanding the scope as well. So we're looking forward to having these holiday decorations put back up again. Late November, the install will happen, and then in early January, they come out and take the lights down, the lights and decorations down. And during the course of that, they're always there to maintain, address any issues. If something's not working or if something gets hit, they will come out and address it as well. And we did have to do that a few times last year, so they are very responsive when we need them.
Thank you. Any discussion on this item?
Quick question.
Councilmember Cadet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Shore. Are these temporary outlets, or are they going to be permanent?
No, these are permanent.
Great.
Yes, these are permanent outlets, so we got a heck of a deal on these. So they'll be with us, and we can use them for whatever we
curbside.
wish.
Wow, that's great.
Councilmember Gravlin.
I see here there's lights allocated for Robina. So where exactly is this? Is this a different tree than usual?
No, this is the same
have a
same
tree
drill
at
on
Robina.
Robina. Yep, they actually put up a Christmas tree on the north side in one of the areas. They'll actually put in a tree there, and then on the south side they put some lights in some of the bushes that are there. So it will be very similar to what we've seen in the past on Robina.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M8516?
Stedman?
Yes.
Turbrack?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Blanchard?
Yes.
Gravlin?
Yes.
Deckel?
Yes.
O'Dwyer?
Yes. And now we come to the communications portion of the meeting, and Councilmember Turbrack is up first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was prepared to speak about the ice arena for a few minutes, but since I already had the opportunity to express some thoughts and feelings on that, I'm going to actually switch gears a little bit. We heard that the Holiday Lights Committee was going to have a fundraiser in November, and that Santa Claus might be there, and you know, we joked about maximizing your opportunities to see Santa, but the same applies actually to Halloween. And with Halloween just 2 weeks away, we have a couple opportunities here in the next 2 weeks for kids in the city of Berkeley to practice before the big day, before the 31st comes. And the first of those events is actually this Thursday, and that's the Tail on the Trail, 6 p.m. It's at J.C. Park. Dress up, so we need a dress rehearsal. There will be candy, and bring your flashlight. So everything that you will need for Halloween. Make sure you're coming out this Thursday. Now, if for some reason you can't make this Thursday, or you want to get super prepared, on October 27th, so the next week, Thursday, we have our Halloween Spooktacular. It's an annual event. This is for kids 3 years old through 5th grade. So not 3rd through 5th grade, 3 years old all the way through 5th grade, and older too. They'll come and have fun. So we got a variety of things happening here. Bat toss. Like bat, not like a baseball bat, like a bat that flies around, bat toss. Eyeball bounce, we know what those are. Witch pitch. Spider golf, and more at this event. This is put on in conjunction with the Berkley Junior Women's Club, too, so I want to thank the Berkley Junior Women's Club in addition to the Parks and Rec Department. Prizes, candy, costumes, the whole deal. Great Pumpkin will also be present. You can take pictures with it. That's a cool thing to do. We want to get pictures with the Great Pumpkin. Everybody in the district, everybody in the school district, everybody's invited. There are tickets still available. Tickets just $4. October 27th. Now, if you can't make one, we've got two sessions. We've got a 5 o'clock to 6 p.m. session 1, and we've got 6:30 to 7:30 session 2. So you got a couple opportunities here to really get that costume ready to go and practice before the main event, which is October 31st. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Graveline.
The tree board met last Monday, the 10th. There was a lot of discussion about the trees that are going to be impacted by the Harvard Road reconstruction. About 75 trees are going to be affected, so they're looking at where they can add more trees in the community to offset that. And obviously they will be replanting, but there are a lot of mature trees that will be affected when the reconstruction project starts. They also are going to begin looking at ordinances of neighboring cities, Huntington Woods and Birmingham specifically, to see if we need to update any of our ordinances as far as tree maintenance goes. And the Planning Commission meets next Tuesday, the 25th at 7:30. They have been busily working on updating the master plan, the language that will be presented at that meeting. As far as I know, neither Santa nor the Great Pumpkin will be there, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Kadek.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to congratulate the Berkley School District and the residents for voting for the bond. But I had the opportunity to attend last week the ribbon cutting ceremony for Angel, as well as some of my colleagues and Mr. Baumgarten, for Angel and for Pattengill, and tomorrow is Norup. And if you get a chance, go into those schools. It's amazing what they've done with the technology. It's the interaction with the kids with the whiteboard, and my hats go off to them. Went to Fall into the Fun at Robina this past Saturday, and I want to thank the Berkley Parks and Recreation Department for putting on a nice event. It was pretty crowded. Had a lot of kids painting their pumpkins and having a lot of fun. I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween. Don't forget to vote. We won't be seeing you before Election Day, and I want to wish Ms. Boucher and her crew a lot of luck, and thank the volunteers for all of those that get up early in the morning, sit at the polls all day long, and until they close, and then have to come back here. So I want to thank everyone involved in that. Zoning Board of Appeals meeting is this Thursday, 7:30, right in this room, and it is open to the public. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Baker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick things as well. The Downtown Development Authority DDA Board met last week's Wednesday, and the Historical Committee meets this upcoming Sunday at 4 o'clock in the museum. And I likewise would want to pass along my compliments and best wishes to the city clerk and her team and all the volunteers. Having worked many of those shifts for many of those election cycles in that volunteer capacity, it's a tremendous to see the process, to see how it all works, and to the care and integrity that goes into making sure that each and every ballot is counted once and only once as appropriate. So those are wonderful things, and thank you to you and the team. It was a Chicago-based author and poet Alik Ice who once said, "We live in a society where mutual respect and appreciation should be considered the pillars of modern life." And again, that was, we live in a society where mutual respect and appreciation should be considered pillars of modern life. We've heard a lot of that here in this session between the various boards and committees, and feedback from the public and the ideas that we want to have going forward. I think that we demonstrate many of those pillars. And I'd like to talk about 4 more pillars for just a moment. There was an article in Fast Company magazine called "2 Words Would Make Our Cities More Livable." And those 2 words are pedestrians first. And that was written by Charlie Sorrell with material that was originally published through a grant from the Knight Foundation. Now, they talk about, to continue to improve our cities and things like that, they talk about 4 pillars of vibrant cities. And I think we're making some great progress on all 4 of these with big opportunities as well. The first is walkability. Berkley remains tremendously walkable. There's this thing called a walk score index, and if you look at Berkley, our average is 77, and that is way up there on the charts and superior to many of the other options we have in the region. It puts us on par with Chicago, Miami, Philadelphia, Seattle, when you think of even in terms of the big cities and the walkability that they have. That's really great. And of course, there's lots more we can do. We've had good conversations about sidewalks and making sure that those are clear and walk passable, whether it's a construction site or just overgrown shrubbery and things like that, to ensure that folks have safe passage. I want to continue to encourage and support that. And we have some sidewalk repair initiatives that will be underway here too, between 12 Mile and into the neighborhoods. The second of the 4 pillars is bikeability. So we just talked about walkability, bikeability. The idea behind bikeability is to focus on the folks that don't currently bike but would if they're given a safe opportunity to. The folks that are already riding their bicycles, they know what they need to do, except you guys got to stay off the sidewalks. Don't ride on the sidewalks. That's for people on their feet. And we're basically bikeable. Our major roads obviously are far from bikeable, though I give tremendous credit, if not a little bit of the crazy tip to the folks that are out there doing what they can, but at least they have their proper helmets and equipment. So I'm appreciative of that. There's a lot of good discussions going on with Coolidge, talking about traffic calming and other kinds of conditions to at least consider making that street more bikeable for those who don't already ride. I want to see what we can do for that. The third pillar for city improvement is around public spaces. So we've talked about public spaces in a number of different ways. As mentioned earlier, we do have some tremendous parks that are already in place, and we're doing some experiments to see what other things we can do to create a permanent destination for folks to want to gather together, to have scheduled events and spontaneous activities. So the things that we can do to create those downtown go-to destinations are things that would really help from a public spaces perspective. And the fourth is public transportation. A lot's been said about that. As many of you know, we rank among the worst in the nation as a region with our transportation, and voters will have an opportunity to become educated on the opportunities and hopefully make an informed decision in a couple of weeks on that as well. As a community, we have done so much on all 4 of those pillars, and when I think about much of the accolades and awards that this community has appropriately received and deserved come from the work that we've done on these initiatives. And it's incumbent upon us to find one or more of these that we find of interest and passion and help continue to move these things forward together. So I'm looking forward to that and following through that lens of mutual respect and appreciation, as mentioned earlier, because together we can do tremendous things. We've seen it, we've done it, and we're well positioned for more. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stedman.
I don't really have very much tonight. I just wanted to bring up something about the Beautification Committee. This committee is a real gem. It's a group of 5 people that have done an unbelievable amount of gardening around our city and planting flowers and doing things to make the city more pleasing to look at. And this Coolidge project with the median is going to be a very big project, so we would really really appreciate any help that we can get. And you can let me know if you're interested, and I'd be happy to pass on your name to the chairs of the committee. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Councilmember Blanchard.
Thank you, Your Honor. Shirley Hansen stole some of my thunder earlier. I just want to say that the Friends of the Library have been very good at supporting the veterans. Today we hauled 22 boxes of books, about 1,100 books down to the VA hospital, and they were very appreciative of getting those books. And my point is we want to keep veterans in our thoughts. It's coming up on Veterans Day, and it's the holidays, and so if you can do something to help the veterans, please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Baumgarten.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have the answer to tonight's trivia question. A small give-up animal is a dog and cat, not including skunks or rodents. A give-up, the term is used to say it's an owner who has proper custody, who drives the animal to the shelter and hands it to them directly. So that is a give-up animal. So anybody that had that in the pool, you win. I would like to also say, on the topic of the election, the clerk's office will be open the Saturday prior to the election from 9 to 2 p.m. That'll be the last day to get your AV and take it with you to home to vote it. Otherwise, if you come in Monday, you can still have an AV ballot. You just have to vote it here on site at City Hall. And then, of course, the polls are open on Tuesday. Last but not least, my chat with Matt is coming up on Wednesday. It'll be at 6 o'clock at Robina Plaza. If the weather doesn't play ball, we'll host it right here in this room. But look forward for updates on that. That'll be a game day decision. So, but thank you all. That's all I have.
Very good. Ms. Boucher.
Well, the general election is coming up this Tuesday, November 8th. Polls are open at 7 a.m. They are closed by 8 p.m. All the precincts 1 through 7, will be at their regular locations in the gym. The last day to register was Tuesday, October 11th. And if the voters have any questions, feel free to give the clerk's office a call. Our number is 248-658-3310. We are still accepting applications for election workers, and the application is found on the city website at www.berkleymich.org. Let's see. Election information may also be found on the city website. And for those that are interested in results, the unconfirmed results will be available on the county website at www.oakgov.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Mayor, I have nothing new to report this evening.
Oh, very good. I have just a couple of things. Once again, thank our city clerk and the entire, there are about 50 people that volunteer to be part of our election efforts. And it is wonderful to see the dedication to detail, to integrity, to making sure that this is properly done. And I am very confident that every other city approaches it in the same way, notwithstanding national comments that there's interference going on. I can assure the residents in this city that every vote counts and every vote will be counted. We're terribly saddened by the ice arena. For those of us especially who are great fans of hockey and our high school hockey team, this is a difficult time for us, and we will do what we can to expedite and communicate effectively with everyone the resolutions as they unfold. We had two mayors visit us last week, one from a very small place called Ithaca, Michigan. The mayor of Ithaca, Michigan paid a little visit to Berkeley. His name is Mayor Tim Palmer. Another mayor to visit the city last week was the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, who gave a talk here in the city. So little places and big places all find a place to be in Berkeley. On October 28th, Friday, October 28th, we will have the State of the City presentation. That will be at 11 o'clock at Farina's. And so for those who can be there, it will be a time for us to review the year that has passed and look ahead to the year ahead, are coming. Halloween, we wish everybody the very best and safest Halloween. Hope you get the candy you like. And Thanksgiving will be here before I see you all again. I will miss the next council meeting. I have a professional presentation to make in another country. And so Mayor Pro Tem Baker will do a wonderful job in this seat. So now we move on to item number 10. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 10?
Closed session, matter of convening in closed session to discuss attorney-client privilege communications.
Is there a motion to go into closed session?
Move to go into closed session.
Move to go into closed session by Councilmember Kadekel.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Stedman. So please call the roll on that.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Gravelin,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Yes.
O'Dwyer,
Yes.
and Kadekel.
Yes.
Where everybody's included. So we will go into closed session. All will remain is to adjourn. Thank you very much.
Here to do that.
We'll come back here to do that.
You're welcome to stay.
That's
Yep.
a Surface that I
Do you
got.
like that?
Yeah, I like it real
Do
well.
you like it as well as the iPad, or
Well, I
you
like it
still?
better than the iPad.
Do you?
Yes, ma'am. What is that?
He's got the Surface.
I got the Surface, which
Sure.
is
Looks nice.
they're considered getting those for us.
You know what? I'll send you an application.